Hey everybody, so here is part 2, 5 through 9 of the Native Born series. I'm really excited about this one because I was actually starting to learn more things because I really didn't know what I was doing and don't know what I'm doing in a lot of the things, but it's a really great discovery to be able to learn as I go. So this one here is late night, and once again, I just visually create in my mind the mountain structure. They're all completely original. And so this particular one, I just kept doing layer after layer and to try to create that unique type of manipulation. Now, late night started out with a vision that I was going to actually do it evening before actual dark. But as the actual painting, as you see here, the trees and the creek and the teepee started to place and get in, I was actually more in a situation where I'm gonna like, hey, I'm gonna make this like with a moon, and let's try to do some night stuff, which is really good in terms of a tonal value because you can actually, make fog and make different rays from the ambient moon, and then I was originally thinking about having a horse go across the creek, so I was really excited about this one, and in the final illustration, I believe I was able to achieve what I wanted to in the late night. And I really was excited. I did sell this one. And now part 2 here, 6 of 13 in the Native Born series, I learned how to draw horses from the lateral aspect or the side. I learned at least enough to be able to feel comfortable, but I made one of the horses really long, so that was kind of hard to do. Again, these mountain structures, and I was trying to layer it and do object expression, they started taking on a life of their own. And so in this particular one, I was really excited when I did the original mountain structure in the very, very back in the 3D space, because it was kind of looked like a mountain that I grew up facing when we grew up on the golf course, looking at Big Mountain. And then, of course, the mountain structure. This time placement was spring, and then I threw in the teepees, and of course the river has a lot of different mud tone look in it, and obviously so with that amount of snow in the background in the 3D and 2D space. But I was able to get those horses in, and I was excited. And then the reason I call it morning walk is because the American Indian warrior is simply walking the horses in order to be able to get them to drink water before they take off going hunting. And the final illustration, I took one of the 2 rocks out because I was trying to learn how to paint rocks. Now this one is very unique, 7 of 13. It's called Creekside, and it had between 25 and 30,000 brush strokes and 15 different paintbrush styles, and it took a long time, but I'm very connected to it because of the amount of color I chose, and I really wanted the actual creek itself to kind of break off into multiple branches. So the first iteration I did where the actual creek itself came down, and I realized that was just not enough of it was a 2D believable, but I wanted it to be 3D. I really wanted to have beginning, middle, and end in terms of tonal manipulation of both trees and I had Indian paintbrush and bear grass in this. I had a lot of different foliage, and I just really wanted to have the scene because it was fairly busy to make sense. And again, I was just doing it as I spoke, like I was just like, I'm just gonna do what I can to make it aspen trees. So I was really put a lot of time into color with this one, and then the teepees and the foreground, and I was just really excited with its churn out. And I know that this particular one especially, well, all of them really, just looks real nice blown up like on a 40 by 60 canvas because of the amount of detail in this and the color tones. And so I was really excited with the final illustration. I believe I achieved what I wanted to in terms of horizon, in terms of a meandering creek river system, and different types and styles of mountain. So I was really excited with the final illustration of this one. And this was 7, so I had 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 6 more left of the Native Born series, so I was learning as I went. Now, in this one, Uninvited Guest, 8 of 13, was a really unique one because it started out where I didn't actually have the flowering dogwood tree. at the end. But then as I realized, I was learning how to draw like night scenes, and so of course I wanted to have the moon and the different reflections of the what the moon makes, and a fire, and just a single teepee, which was probably around 3 people in that teepee that were actually cooking. They were cooking buffalo meat and salmon from the previous catches because they're here on remote, and this is taking place at the head of a lake. And so what had happened was, as they built the fire and as they were inside kind of finishing the last of their meal, a grizzly bear shows up. And then that's when I realized the grizzly bear didn't want to be alone, so that's why the flowering dogwood came into place. So I was really excited about what I achieved in terms of reflection and shadowing, and in the final illustration, having the final output the way it was. So that was really exciting, and I felt really good with this. And the reflection, of course, of the trees on the lake itself. So I called that Uninvited Guest. So thank you very much for the 5 through 9 that I just went through. And stay tuned for the 10 through 13. Thank you, and please subscribe to the link below. Bye-bye.